Well, it's been a kind of stormy day today. On and off, it's been raining. Just lightly most times. But it's kind of put a damper on the projects that I've done today. But, oh, the clouds are really beautiful. But right now I've decided to set out and get 3 projects done. First is to stack up the hay that we've just purchased. Bales of hay in the barn before Buttercup manages to eat all of them. Right now they're just in the milking parlor area. Also, I need to put just a couple pieces of metal on the roof. You can see that behind me, but the other side of the roof is where I need to put the metal on. And also, before I do those things, I need to take care of some of these weeds back here. And right now, it actually looks like they're mostly sunflowers, although some of you might be able to tell that not all of those are sunflowers. Let's get a closer look. So sunflowers, not sunflowers. But look at this, the leaves are almost exactly the same. At least from a distance, they look very similar. Actually, goodness, even up close, they look very similar. If any of you know what this plant here is compared to the sunflower, let me know. We are very much interested in knowing what they are. Find out if there are any uses for this. You can see the tops of it right here. However, there is something wrong with these being on our homestead, because Lorajean, as it turns out, is quite allergic to them, to particularly the pollen on them. So, at risk of getting this pollen on me and having to detoxify, clean off afterwards, I'm going to try to chop these down and get these in a pile that we can mulch for later use, and you know, when the pollen isn't going to affect Lorajean. And anyway, hopefully I can take care of that. So I'll chop down a few. There's no way I can get all of them on the property. We have at least an acre full of them where we planted our garden last year, but I'll see if I can make a dent. Alright, well, you can see I've cleared off most of it. I kind of don't want to get in there right now because there's stuff blowing off the roof. Obviously the wind has come up. Not even sure if you can hear me very well. We tend to get these downdrafts, these big big winds that come up before the rains come in. So it looks like I will not have time. But for now, I will go out to the barn and see how much damage Buttercup has done to my bales of hay. She's busily working at it right now, I can tell. Hey Buttercup, you have a fat belly. You've been eating all this hay all day. And you've eaten through how much? Oh, well that's not too bad. Just a quarter of a bale. But still, she has pasture that she should be eating. She should be content with that. But obviously this stuff is yummier to her. And this way she doesn't have to pick it. It's just right there for her. Hi. Yep, it's yummy, huh? Hey turkey. So, here's what I've been doing. I have to lift it from there, put it over there, and when I get a nice big pile there, then I can lift it up here. Then when I get a big pile here, oh, hi there. She found a nice little spot to lay eggs. And there are some more. So I've been stacking them up back here, and the plan is to just stack them up as high as I can get them so the chickens can't roost on them anymore, can't poop on them, and you know, make another row and another row till it gets, you know, kind of self-contained and preserved. And of course the eventual goal is to get these chickens out of here, get this place cleaned up, get all of this metal out of here. This used to be a multi-cow milking barn, but we don't need this stuff anymore. We're not gonna ever have an operation like that. It's just happens to not be in our plans. So chickens will end up closer to the house. This will stay as a milking barn, most likely. And oh, I don't know if you saw the bunny is here in the barn temporarily while we get some other cage situation figured out. But anyway, yeah, so I'll get these things stacked up here. These turkeys are so friendly, so curious. Hi. I like having them. They're a fun animal. Really smart. I should point out this breed is very smart. Narragansett. Some other breeds that I've seen are not smart though. Had the brains bred out of them. Wow, look at that. That's awesome. But I will leave those for now because I've got to get this other thing done first. I get these other bales of hay up and away from Buttercup. Ta-da! Well, I've got it all stacked up behind me. Alright, it's nice to have that stuff taken care of. Now, Buttercup won't eat her winter storage food. Yeah, it looks really nice. What's more is I've moved the bunny just a few feet, but I've moved it over here, kind of made do with some stuff that that is just laying around, an old stanchion, milking stanchion that we weren't using right now, and that's in need of repair. Anyway, we've moved the bunny over here so that its droppings won't pile up. And again, this was just a temporary situation, but I've learned a new thing and want to utilize it wherever possible. So now, bunny's droppings will go down, fall down below in this old dry straw that is left over from, you know, the chickens, mostly from winter time. So the droppings, which are high nitrogen, very high nitrogen in the case of bunnies, I believe it's nitrogen, will go down and mix thoroughly with the high carbon straw and hay, and it'll make really, really nice compost for the vegetables. Now, I just learned from the same source, our friend, that compost per se, you know, the high nitrogen type, is great for vegetables. So that kind of compost that's made with animal manure, any kind of manure actually, is a great source of good bacteria, and that feeds the soil, and that allows the plants to take up the nutrients that they need to grow. And trees, on the other hand, this is what we've learned, they need not so much that kind of stuff, but more like just mulch. Mulch that is high in, you know, fibrous material, stuff that, like wood and plant material, stuff that can break down on its own, just get wet, get rotten, and start to grow mushrooms, for lack of a better explanation. And so fungal activity is what trees really want. And that is definitely what's going on right here with these two trees. Granted, they're taking advantage of just the mulching activity, you know, just the fact that it's probably preserving a lot of the ground moisture. I'm sure that that's partially what's happening. But our groundwater is so high here that these type of trees that reach down really quickly, poplars and willows, they're not suffering for water. In fact, none of them are. But these two trees are doing remarkably better than the others around here. And now that I know, it's so much fun to know the reasoning. Now I can copy this to other trees, and I've started to, now that I know this. So these are starting to grow mushrooms, starting to grow mold. You could do hugelkultur, you know, bury branches and, you know, other wood. I could do wood chips, and the bottom layer would start to break down and grow fungus on it. Or this old, dead, already half-rotted hay that I've had there for a while. It quickly got rained on after we got it. And we actually got it for mulch. Turns out that Buttercup was able to eat it for a little while, then it got rained on more, and it got moldy, so I don't feel comfortable feeding it to her, even though she technically will eat it. But it's nice to know that this is doing its job, and you know, whether I knew it or not, doesn't matter that I didn't know what was happening. It was still working, and now I know why it's working, and that's just fun. So back to the idea of going on the roof. Whew. So all the materials that I had placed up there are now back on the ground and definitely less organized than they were before. So do I dare get up there? No, I don't. I'm far too afraid of heights. I'm far too afraid of dying. So I'm not going to risk it. There's no need to go up there in the wind. So here I will leave you. Thank you so much for joining me today for a couple of projects. It's nice to have 2 out of 3 done. Oh, this is so much nicer without these weeds. It really opens it up. What was I saying? Oh yeah. So thanks for joining me. We hope to see you tomorrow. In the meantime, have a great day. We'll see ya.